This is Belizean businessman Jorge Espat, and he owns more than 100 acres of land along this side of the western border in Benque Viejo del Carmen in an area known as Barrio El Juda. This is the mayor of neighboring Melchor de Mencos in Guatemala, Amado Yanes. He has recently won an election, and our understanding is that he has promised residents property in Barrio El Juda. Video shows Guatemalans clearing the land, building roads, and up to recently constructing structures on Belizean territory.
Every time we have or they have municipality elections, it has been a reoccurring issue, whereas to gain room in the general elections for the municipality, the parties involved direct the people to the Belizean territory, which is my farm or my area, borderline, to get parcels and to make settlements.
The undocumented Guatemalans are essentially building on Espat's land on Belizean territory at the direction of their municipal leader. It is an issue that has been discussed time and time again during the meeting of the National Security Council.
Every time we have a National Security Council meeting, there is a report. And that Barrio El Juda is a continuing problem. Every time, remember how the protocol is, we receive reports, the BDF goes, confirms, makes the, in fact, complaint to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Foreign Affairs passes it to the OAS, they go and they verify. And once they say yes, the settlement is in Belize, then we are entitled to destroy it. You do it, a few months later they come back.
But this time, Espat says, it is worse. Concrete structures are being built.
This has been the worst. It's like how I mentioned, it has been a reoccurring issue. I recall the last incident we had managed to let them leave the area. They were forced to leave the area. There were no structure at the time. There was just fence properties with some cornfields and clearing of area, which was very recent at the time. Now it has reached to the scenario that there is a teacher that made very expensive investment, concrete building, which of course that is something that cannot be removed. It has to be destroyed eventually. Another person built a wooden structure, and that was just recently.
The teacher's name is Paola Reyes, who told the Guatemalan press that she has been occupying the piece of land for 4 years after buying it from her sister, who occupied the land for 4 years as well. Reyes, who took out the loan to buy the land, coughed up about 32,000 quetzales and began construction in February. Reyes says that land was surveyed and was told that the land was in Guatemala.
Unfortunately for the teacher, I had contacted the whole vicinity in the area. I had advised them to stop or to cease investment, and requested for them or to them if they had any documents whatsoever, and they said no, they don't have. Some of them, or the teacher said she had. I told her to produce documents, and of course it's a back and forth. They were insisting on my end to produce documents to them, which indeed, of course, I mean, I'm on the Belizean side. It is my property.
Recently, while on another visit to his land, Espat was confronted by Guatemalan authorities who had crossed over to this side of the border and asked him to surrender his firearm.
I was in my area, of course, with my firearm, and I had spoken to some of the people in the area, and the police came by and mentioned to me that they wanted me to surrender documents.
Guatemalan authorities?
That's right, and I told them in no way I need to respond to them. I mean, I am within my rights and in my territory. I mean, this is my property.
And to prove that the property is on Belizean side, the Organization of American States got involved, verifying the location of the land.
The confirmation came about through the OAS, and Guatemala, as I understand, that had requested verification through the Mexican source. And yes, indeed, the verification from the OAS came out intact.
Why not erect a fence around it?
There is a lot of, since it is the borderline, there's a lot of contraband. People there, it used to have a fence, but at the end of the day, why make an investment when an investment is not worth the while? Because the people come and take away whatever fence you put, and of course, it's a crime, but I cannot go and charge them across the border, right? So it's very delicate. It's a very delicate issue. There were markers, there were posts, there were fence. And I mean, they thief the material for the fence. I mean, they use it for their purpose. And so to speak, that they even come in my territory to take out material to build their house, to do their foundation, right? And I mean, it's very sad.
Reporting for News 5, Hipolito, Novelo.